Welcome back to TPS. For football fans, few stories are as heartwarming as seeing a veteran NFL star win his long-awaited first championship late in his career, and hopefully several active NFL veterans will soon get their hands on that elusive Lombardi trophy before they call it quits. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. Before we get started on this list, we just wanted to say that we are only including veteran players who are nearing the end of their careers. Young superstars who have yet to win a Super Bowl weren't factored in. Number 10, Geno Atkins. Atkins is one of the many big-name stars of the 21st century who had most of his career wasted by the dysfunctional Cincinnati Bengals franchise. But like a good team player, he simply hasn't whined about it. He continues to do everything he can to make the team better. Atkins will go down as one of the greatest defensive players of his era. The 8-time Pro Bowler and 2-time first-team All-Pro helped the Bengals to 5 consecutive playoff berths from 2011 to 15. This included AFC North Division championships in 2013 and 15. Unfortunately, the Bengals went one and done during each of those playoff appearances. Atkins, one of the league's most feared pass rushers, has done his part. He has 2.5 sacks in 4 career postseason games, but the majority of his teammates didn't show up when they needed to the most. Atkins will likely find himself in the Pro Football Hall of Fame one day, but what matters more right now is a Super Bowl. And whether it comes with the Bengals or someone else, we truly want to see this man win it all before he hangs him up. Number 9, Jason Witten. Unlike most other guys on this list, Witten hasn't come close to winning the Lombardi Trophy. The 11-time Pro Bowl tight end played 16 seasons with the perennially underachieving Dallas Cowboys. They never got past the NFC Championship game during Witten's tenure. Instead, they suffered several heartbreaking losses in the NFC divisional round, including a couple of heartbreaking losses to the Green Bay Packers. While the Cowboys are one of the most disliked teams in America, Witten is simply impossible to hate. He's been a true class act on and off the field, and he was always an absolute workhorse who rarely complained even when things were bad. Witten didn't re-sign with the Cowboys after the 2019 season, instead taking a one-year deal to join John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders. Will Gruden and company find a way to quickly win it all for this Hall of Fame lock before his career ends? Or will Witten join the likes of Jackie Smith, Tony Gonzalez, and Antonio Gates, his all-time great tight ends who never got to win a Super Bowl? Number 8, Trent Williams. The perennial Pro Bowl offensive tackle wouldn't be so overlooked if he didn't have all those prime years wasted by the Washington football team. Williams is as reliable as they come for an offensive lineman. Williams put up with all that drama and controversy in Washington despite awful ownership and management from Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen, respectively. And if the medical team wasn't so careless about Williams' health, which led to a falling out with the franchise, he would have probably been happy to finish his career right where it started. Thankfully, a 2020 offseason trade to the San Francisco 49ers freed Williams from that mess in D.C. Not only that, but the future Hall of Famer finally has a chance to win a Super Bowl. Williams was brought in to replace another perennial Pro Bowler in Joe Staley, who retired after the 49ers fell to the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 54. What a story that would be if Williams stepped in for Staley and helped San Francisco finally finish the job. For all he's been through on and off the field, Williams really deserves a ring. He's got a few kicks at the can left too. Number 7, Julio Jones. Jones shouldn't be on this list, but you know, the whole 28-3 thing happened. Jones, unquestionably the best wide receiver of the last decade, is one of the most explosive offensive players in NFL history. He has done all he can to help Matt Ryan and company bring a title home to Atlanta. Close, but no cigar thus far. The Falcons blew a 17-0 lead to the San Francisco 49ers in the 2012 NFC Championship game, so that obviously sucked for starters. Atlanta would then miss the playoffs in each of the next 3 years. Finally, they broke through in 2016 thanks to Matty Ice's MVP season. The Falcons went on to reach the Super Bowl for just the second time in franchise history, and for 3.5 quarters it looked like they would put an end to the New England Patriots dynasty. Shortly after New England cut the lead to 8, Jones seemingly put the game away with his jaw-dropping tiptoe sideline catch. Of course, the Falcons called 3 straight awful plays, punted, and you all know what happened from there. The Falcons haven't recovered from that Super Bowl 51 loss. They've fallen into mediocrity, and the clock is ticking on both Jones and Ryan to break through as they enter their final phases of their primes. You really have to feel for Jones if he never wins a Super Bowl, especially considering that his iconic sideline Super Bowl catch should have clinched the Lombardi Trophy right then and there. Number 6, Cam Newton. Take a look at the list of the top starting quarterbacks over the age of 30, and the majority of them already own a Super Bowl ring. That includes Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, and Russell Wilson. But Cam Newton, well, Brady's successor in New England, is one of the few veteran superstar signal callers that has yet to win it all. Arguably the greatest dual-threat quarterback of all time, Newton got awfully close when he led the Panthers to Super Bowl 50, but the 2015 league MVP was smothered by the Denver Broncos' ferocious pass rush, led by Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. Instead of capturing his first Super Bowl ring, Newton had to watch Peyton Manning ride off to the sunset with his second Lombardi trophy. It's hard not to feel bad for Newton following his ugly exit from Carolina. Injuries derailed his 2018 and 19 seasons, and the franchise decided to release him. Several months later, Bill Belichick signed Newton to an insanely cheap one-year deal, giving him the chance to write an epic comeback story. Even if you hate the Patriots, Newton gives you a reason to somewhat cheer for them. Whether it comes in New England or somewhere else, you have to tip your hat and applaud Superman if he wins a Super Bowl. He's been through a lot up to this point, so it would be nice to see him complete this epic comeback story with a championship ring. Number 5, J.J. Watt. When Watt led Houston to consecutive AFC South Division titles in 2011 and 12, it felt as though the Texans were about to become the next big thing in the AFC. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were supposedly nearing the end of their primes, and the Texans looked poised to dominate the conference for the rest of the decade. Well, it didn't quite play out like that. The Texans were able to rack up 6 division titles in the decade because their rivals were too busy being mediocre or terrible, but this team hasn't been able to advance past the divisional round once. J.J. Watt, the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, has worked effortlessly to help the Texans finally break through. Landing Deshaun Watson in the 2017 draft finally gave this team a great quarterback. But Watt and Watson can't do it all alone. Watt has been hit with several injuries over these last 5 years, so we really don't know how many prime years he has left. Former head coach and GM Bill O'Brien has made so many brutal trades and free agent signings, which has only set this team back more. And Watt, one of the NFL's ultimate good guys, has had to pay for it. He seems keen on finishing out his career with the Texans, but so far they haven't been able to build a legitimate Super Bowl contender around him. We can only hope that'll change soon because generational talents like Watt shouldn't be allowed to retire without a Super Bowl ring. Number 4, Adrian Peterson. In an era where so many running backs are washed up by the age of 30, AP continues to defy father time by performing at a high level well into his mid-30s. Peterson, who sits 5th all-time in rushing yards and 4th all-time in rushing touchdowns, is a lock for Canton, but the 7-time Pro Bowler has only come close to winning a Super Bowl on one occasion. That was back in 2009 when his Minnesota Vikings reached the NFC Championship game. Of course, Brett Favre's late fourth-quarter interception doomed Minnesota, who fell to the New Orleans Saints in overtime. In fact, Peterson has only ever experienced one career playoff victory. Since his breakup from Minnesota, he had brief gigs in New Orleans and Arizona, Washington, and Detroit. AP is happy to keep on playing for the love of the game, but man, somebody give him a Super Bowl ring already. Number 3, Frank Gore. Gore hasn't been as dominant as Peterson, but he's been around much longer, and unlike Peterson, Gore has come oh so close to winning it all on a few occasions. He was in the 49ers squad that reached 3 straight NFC Championship games from 2011 to 13. He was just a few yards away from helping the 49ers win Super Bowl 47 over the Baltimore Ravens, but they've lost 34-31 in a game for the ages. Gore, who only trails Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton on the all-time rushing leaders list, had more productive years wasted in Indianapolis. He enjoyed one-year stops in Miami and Buffalo, but neither team got him closer to that elusive Super Bowl. His Hall of Fame induction is a lock at this point. Now can Gore just get his hands on that Super Bowl before he calls it a career? Number 2, Philip Rivers. Out of every veteran starting quarterback that has yet to win it all, Rivers truly deserves a Super Bowl the most. Rivers is also higher on this list because he's 8 years older than Newton, who still has plenty of time. The bulk of Rivers' prime years with the San Diego/Los Angeles Chargers were wasted by questionable coaching hires and awful management. I mean, how do you fire Marty Schottenheimer after a 14-win season and replace him with Norv Turner? Rivers' Chargers just couldn't break through, so many unlucky bounces in the playoffs. And the man had to play through a torn ACL in his lone AFC Championship game appearance in 2007 against the undefeated Patriots. If Rivers was healthy, who knows, maybe the Chargers end the Patriots' perfect season instead of the New York Giants. The Chargers moved on from Rivers after the 2019 season as a mismanaged franchise let him down once again. He joined the Indianapolis Colts in 2020 free agency, and it's on them to help the future Hall of Famer capture that elusive Super Bowl. And number 1, Larry Fitzgerald. There's a long list of all-time great wide receivers who never won a Super Bowl, including Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Andre Reed, Chris Carter, Steve Largent, and Calvin Johnson. And Larry Fitzgerald may unfortunately find himself on that list unless Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals can send him out on top, just like the Ravens did with Ray Lewis or the Broncos with Peyton Manning and John Elway. Fitzgerald's incredible loyalty to this franchise cannot be emphasized enough. He has stated that he won't play anywhere else. The man has never been interested in pursuing a Super Bowl with another contender. It's Cardinals or bust. They came close to Super Bowl 43, losing a last-minute heartbreaker to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got to the 2015 NFC Championship game, but Arizona was no match for Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Luckily for Fitz, who sits second all-time in receiving yards, the Cardinals are an up-and-coming contender with Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Isaiah Simmons, and Patrick Peterson. There's a bit of time here to win the big one for Fitzgerald, and if he ever gets to hold that Lombardi trophy, every football fan in the country will have a tough time keeping their eyes dry. Which other NFL veterans deserve a championship before they retire? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that by hitting the subscribe button down there. If you like the video, then like the video. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, tune in to TPS every single day for more cool videos. We'll see you.